The NRL has announced its plans for Las Vegas 2025, and in doing so, it used a lot of B words to describe what it hopes the event will be. Bigger, better, bolder, yet only one word that starts with the letter B came into my mind after learning more about what the National Rugby League has planned for America next year. Botched. The NRL has absolutely botched this. What exactly Peter V'landys and Andrew Ebdo are thinking here absolutely blows my mind. From Brisbane to Baltimore all the way over to Burnley and all points in between, this looks like it's going to be bloody bad business. A brutal decision from butthead businessmen who have taken a brilliant concept and absolutely butchered it. Let's put the bees away, shall we, and focus on this bad plan. What the NRL is doing here makes absolutely no sense. I mean, I kind of get it on the surface. They wanted to expand it. They wanted to include more teams. And for that, I actually applaud them. Having Wigan and Warrington come over and play a game as part of this Las Vegas event is a good idea. Having the Jillaroos take part as well and a friendly, also another good idea. But the fact that the NRL is going to play 4 games in one day is I don't even have words to describe it. It's an abomination of an idea that's going to blow up in their faces. What exactly is the NRL trying to accomplish here? What exactly do they think is going to draw people in to hang out at a stadium for 8 to 10 hours? If you're lucky, probably closer to 12. What is being billed as the Rugby League Las Vegas Festival is an idea, is a concept that should have never made it past the first stage of brainstorming. No one is going to want to sit through 4 games in the same stadium in the same day. I am a huge sports fan. I am the type of guy who will travel extreme distances to see one-off events, and even I think this is it doesn't work. For starters, all you're doing is going to have fans shuttling in and out of Allegiant Stadium throughout the day, which is going to create a disjointed atmosphere. It's going to have some bad looking games as fans, again, are going in and out of the stadium. There's going to be no continuity. It's just on television. It's not going to have the same excitement, the same passion as those 2 NRL games had at the start of this year in Sin City. Better yet, who really wants to spend 10 hours in one place in Las Vegas, a city that has so much to do and see and experience? I just don't see people being keen on sitting down and watching 4 games. I'm really struggling to find a silver lining here, something that you could spin as a positive. This just feels like an unforced error. This is just a sloppy play of the ball on the case of the NRL. Las Vegas 2025 is going to have the look and feel of a youth sporting tournament, and that is not a good look for a primetime professional sports league event. In fact, the only other event I can even remember trying to go this long were those old one-day WrestleManias that were closer to 7 or 8 hours when you factored in the pre-show. And even then, WWE decided we need to break this up. We need to spread this across 2 days. If the NRL was really interested in making this a festival, they should have taken that route. They should have split this up into 2 days. How they wanted to distribute the teams on each day, how they wanted to figure that out, it's up to them, but there's a way to make it work. Now, look, I get the fact that they didn't want to book Allegiant Stadium for 2 days. It's a lot of money. It's probably more than they have in the budget, but cramming in 4 games, and even the way they have distributed the games, is going to be quite poor. I mean, we know most people are going to be interested in the NRL contest, and those are bookending this event. Will the Brits show up for the Super League clash? Yeah, sure. I'm really worried about that Jillaroos game and just who's going to actually stick around for that. I mean, you're really going to think fans who've already sat through 5 hours of rugby league are going to hang around for that, knowing they also have 2 hours after that? Eventually, you're going to dip out at some point during this day, and that is just, it's a bad look. It's a bad look for everyone involved. But if you split it up over 2 days, you can keep people there. Asking folks to stay in the same place in Las Vegas for 5 or 6 hours, it's doable. Asking them to stay in the stadium or around the stadium or as part of this quote unquote festival of rugby for 11 hours. Absolutely not. You're just going to disenfranchise people. You're going to upset people. You're going to bore them. They're going to go home, especially knowing how much the Brits and Aussies are going to drink. They're going to be pre-gaming at that thing around 10 a.m. I mean, you're really asking them to carry on. Now, in fairness, a lot of them are tanks and they're going to be able to do it, but it's just, you're asking for so many problems with this setup. Better yet, where's the American participation here? Actually, I'm going to talk about American Rugby League in the next week or so because I've had some pretty terrible experiences with what they are doing. And it leads me to believe at this point in time, what the NRL is doing in America and what Rugby League is trying to accomplish in America can just never actually come to be because those running Rugby League in America are grade A morons. But again, we'll focus on that in the coming time. Let's get back to the Rugby League weekend. I just think, though, you need to have something that Americans can grasp onto apart from like an on-field photo op with the winner of the Nines tournament or whatever the case is going to be there. Why not have the USA women's team take part? Why not do something to get that American showcase into this festival of rugby league? But again, that also requires you splitting it up. If you're going to have other things happening, you can have lesser events as part of that if you're doing it over 2 days. 3 games in a day, it's not as bad, especially if one of those is just going to be a throwaway contest. Like if you just put the USA men's team or the USA women's team as the opener and you just sort of accept, well, it's part of the ticket package, you can go if you want, but it's not mandatory. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess I can give the NRL credit about being bigger and bolder, but better? No, this is much worse than what they did in 2024. More teams, more games, more whatever you want to call it. It doesn't always equal greater success. The entire premise of this Las Vegas opener for the NRL was about subtle expansion, slow growth, building it up over the contract they have with Vegas, which was, I think, 4 or 5 years. This just seems like you're blowing your wad way too early. If you wanted to expand it, why not go a little slower with it? Maybe, again, add in an extra game or maybe have the UK teams come over, but don't even have them play in Allegiant Stadium. Maybe you have that game between the Super League sides at whatever Las Vegas is, Las Vegas Ballpark or something along those lines. In fact, you could put both of those extra 2 games, the Jillaroos game and the Super League game, over at Las Vegas Ballpark or Sam Boyd Stadium or wherever you want to have it and just sort of make that a more of a satellite event to the NRL kickoff. Nope, we're going to play 4 games in 1 day and just absolutely exhaust everyone. We already know people are going to complain about this. No one in their right mind is ready to attend 4 games in 1 day. I've actually done this, by the way, for the NCAA tournament. It was 2003 in Sacramento. It's a great story, by the way, because I only bought 1 ticket and then stuck around for both showings. But by Game 3, Game 4, you're pretty much ready to go. You may enjoy watching college basketball, you may enjoy watching sports, but when you're in someplace for 10, 11 hours, you just get so exhausted. And that is what's going to happen here with the NRL. You're just going to wear people out. And you're going to do it. Again, it just goes back to this unforced error. You're doing something is a bad idea. Why, NRL? Why? As for the team selection, who's coming over, all of that, even again, having the UK teams involved, having the women's teams involved, I don't think that is the problem, but it's just this wonky, stupid, piss poor layout by the NRL that's going to really, I think, just kind of annoy everybody. At the end of the day, as an American who really likes rugby league and in particular the NRL, I want the sport to do well. When you make bad mistakes like this, it's only going to harm things over the long run, especially for potential new fans. Maybe diehard rugby league supporters out there are going to be all in on this 4-game match event. I doubt it, but maybe you can convince them that this is a good idea and then they'll experience it and they'll realize it's a bad idea. But let's not get sidetracked on that. New fans of rugby league in Las Vegas who maybe went and watched the 2 games last year, now you're asking them to watch 4 games? Again, I keep saying this and I'm going to keep coming back to this. You're cramming 10 pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag by doing this. And the results are going to be sloppy. They're going to end up all over your hands and you're going to regret what you did in RL. Look, the thing is I want to be positive about this. I keep trying to rack my brains, like, what is something here that I can say that's positive? I mean, I guess it's good that the NRL is going back to Las Vegas. There's always rumblings about teams don't want to pay or it's too expensive or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I do like the fact that the NRL is going to be back in Las Vegas for a second year. But when you do so in the dumbest way possible, when you do so in a way that makes your event feel nothing more than a youth tournament in sports, Americans have plenty of experiences with those youth tournaments. They are not something you care about. You go, you're kind of there, but really you're not there. You're just in and out. It's not what professional sports should be. Professional sports, especially ones trying to create a market in America, should be about selling the best you have, about drawing in fans, making new fans, and doing that to create a fan base in America. If you want to expand the event, I'm all for that, but do so smartly. Either spread these games out over 2 days, have them at different venues. There's got to be a better solution here than what the NRL has chosen. This path is going to fail. Make no mistake about that. There's a reason why no one holds these 4-game events apart from March Madness, and they split those up into 2 separate blocks. So you're not going to see 4 games, you're going to see 2 games. You also have those preseason college basketball tournaments where they'll have 4 games, the Maui Invitational, they'll play 4 games in a day. And the atmosphere there is shit, for lack of a better term, because again, fans are shuttling in and out, everyone's talking. It's less a sporting event and more just a hangout spot. That is not what the NRL should strive for. The NRL doesn't want its games looking like something you just hang out at. They want to showcase their sport to the American audience, to the global audience. And this plan for Las Vegas 25 is a loser, a big time loser. We're talking Parramatta Eels wooden spoon this season loser. Here we are though, another sporting organization, another professional sports league has managed to take a good idea, something people actually like, and turn it into something that they aren't interested in for what, a cash grab? I don't even know what the NRL end goal here is, because it's not creating more fans or expanding the game. It's just going to be pissing people off, which maybe that's their goal. Who knows with Andrew Ebdo and Peter V'landys. Man, you know, this is just, it's really disappointing for me. I actually don't have a script or anything, which is why this video is so scatterbrained anyway. It's just when I saw this news of Las Vegas for the NRL, it just was such a disheartening moment for me as someone who wants to see rugby league. And it's just compounded by the fact of what I'm slowly realizing rugby league in America is and forever will be. So not a great week for me as far as rugby league and being an American is concerned, but you know, I'm still enjoying the NRL this season. Hey, if the Bulldogs can finish top 4 this season, maybe anything is possible, and the NRL does find a way to pull off what on paper, in theory, seems to be just a huge mistake in what they want to do with Las Vegas 2025. Thank you though for watching this video. If you'd like to know more about the Manly Seagulls and their just inexplicable ability to throw away leads, video upper right hand corner of your screen. Until next time, I am Shine Hollis. This is The Touchback, and as always, hashtag take it out to the 25.